The arena fell silent as the massive gates groaned open, revealing the creature that had claimed 47 lives across 12 different species. The Vorthak champion stood 12 feet tall, its obsidian carapace gleaming under the harsh spotlights. 6 arms ended in razor-sharp claws, each capable of punching through reinforced titanium. Its 4 eyes, arranged in a diamond pattern on its elongated skull, tracked every movement with predatory precision. Ambassador Zektar leaned forward in the viewing booth, his mandibles clicking with satisfaction. "Behold, human," he said, addressing the small figure standing calmly in the center of the arena below. "The Vorthak champion. In 3,000 years, no creature has managed to kill it. Your species' reputation for tenacity ends here." Marcus Chen adjusted his grip on the simple metal rod he'd requested, nothing more than a length of steel pipe, roughly 3 feet long. No weapons, no armor, no advanced technology. Just him, the rod, and whatever plan was forming behind his calm brown eyes. The other alien dignitaries in the viewing booth watched with various expressions of anticipation and disgust. The hegemony had grown tired of humanity's rapid expansion through their territory, tired of human colonies that somehow thrived in impossible conditions, tired of human traders who could negotiate deals that should have been impossible. This was meant to be a lesson, a demonstration. The Vorthak champion circled Marcus slowly, its movement deceptively fluid despite its massive size. It had learned patience over the centuries, learned to savor the fear that typically radiated from its opponents. But this human, there was no fear sent, no elevated heart rate detected by its sensory organs. Just calm observation. Marcus studied the creature as it moved. He noted the slight favor of its left rear leg, old injury probably, the way its secondary arms moved independently of its primary ones, the protective ridge above its eyes, the softer-looking membrane between its carapace plates. The beast struck without warning, 6 arms converging on the human's position with lethal precision. The crowd of alien spectators leaned forward expecting to see another quick execution. Instead, they watched Marcus drop into a roll, the steel rod spinning in his hands like a baton. As he came up, the rod caught the champion's left primary arm at the joint, the impact producing a sharp crack that echoed through the arena. The Vorthak champion roared, a sound like grinding metal that made several alien spectators cover their auditory organs. It spun, swiping with its uninjured arms, but Marcus was already moving. He seemed to flow around the creature's attacks, the steel rod dancing in his hands, striking joint after joint with surgical precision. "Impossible," whispered Counselor Vreketh, her crystalline form refracting the arena lights nervously. "Nothing moves that fast. Nothing predicts the champion's attack patterns." But Marcus wasn't moving particularly fast, and he wasn't predicting anything. He was simply reacting, reading the creature's body language, exploiting the slight telegraphing that preceded each attack. It was the same instinct that had allowed his species to hunt creatures 10 times their size with nothing but sharpened sticks, the same adaptability that had carried them to the stars. The Vorthak champion's roars grew more frustrated as Marcus continued to evade, continued to strike at joints and soft spots. The human was like water, flowing around every attack, impossible to pin down. And slowly, inevitably, the accumulated damage began to tell. Marcus ducked under a wild swing and drove the rod upward, finding the gap he'd been looking for. The steel pierced the soft membrane at the base of the creature's neck, sliding between vertebrae with anatomical precision. The Vorthak champion froze, its 4 eyes wide with shock, before crashing to the arena floor. The silence stretched for long moments. Ambassador Zektar's mandibles clicked frantically. Impossible. The champion was unkillable. Unkillable. Marcus pulled the rod free and looked up at the viewing booth. His expression remained calm, almost bored. "You said it was unkillable," he called out, his voice carrying clearly in the sudden quiet. "You didn't say anything about the other 2. "Other 2? Zektar's voice cracked. "What other 2? "Well," Marcus said, wiping the rod clean on the champion's carapace, I figured if you had one supposedly unkillable beast, you probably had at least two more. Maybe something bigger, more challenging. The alien dignitaries looked at each other in growing alarm. They did, in fact, have two more creatures in the depths of their facility: the stellar devourer from the Andromeda Void and the legendary Crimson Wraith of Proxima 7. Both had been deemed too dangerous even for arena combat. "The human is insane," muttered Reketh. "He wants to fight more of them." "But Ambassador..." Zektar was beginning to understand something that chilled him to his core. This human hadn't been afraid because he'd somehow known that he could kill their champion. And now he was asking for more challenging opponents with the casual confidence of someone ordering dessert. Marcus began walking toward the exit, then paused and looked back up at the viewing booth. "Oh, and Ambassador, next time you want to teach humanity a lesson about our place in the galaxy, you might want to remember something." "What's that, human?" Marcus smiled, and for the first time since entering the arena, his expression showed something other than calm indifference. It showed the predatory satisfaction of an apex species that had spent millions of years climbing to the top of every food chain it encountered. "We didn't get to the top of our food chain by being the strongest or the fastest or the toughest. We got there by being too stubborn to know when we should quit, and too adaptable to stay beaten." He hefted the steel rod. "So yeah, bring me those other two. And after that, well, I'm sure you've got more." The viewing booth erupted in frantic alien chatter as Marcus walked calmly toward the exit, leaving the corpse of their supposedly unkillable champion cooling on the arena floor behind him. Ambassador Zektar slumped in his chair, finally understanding why human space seemed to expand a little more each day, why their colonies thrived in places where other species failed, why their negotiators always seemed to walk away with the better deal. Humanity hadn't conquered the galaxy through superior technology or overwhelming force. They'd done it one impossible challenge at a time, with nothing more than stubborn determination and an alarming tendency to ask for seconds. In the depths of the facility, something roared, deep and terrible and ancient. The stellar devourer, perhaps sensing that its long wait in the darkness was finally coming to an end. Marcus Chen smiled and kept walking.